That's right. Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. It's me, an Italian stereotype.
Hey guys.
Right. Welcome to our Universal Japan trip report. Well, not your Universal trip
Mine.
report.
You
Yeah.
couldn't come because the borders are closed.
Thanks. The last theme park trip I took was an absolute disaster.
I know. At least you got some good rides.
Yeah, it was good rides. It was just
If
Anyway.
it makes you feel better, I had a lot of issues with my trip too.
That does kind of make me feel better in a way.
I can get into it briefly. Let me start.
So, Tiki was there in spirit. I was.
He was, yeah.
All right,
Actually,
we have
technically he
Behind the
was,
Magic and Theme Park Priest. Remind me who Behind the Magic is, please.
That's Pergron.
Pergron, that's what I thought. All right, just wanted to make sure. All right.
Technically,
Right.
Tiki was there in spirit, and I assaulted him with a lot of pictures.
You know what? That is
During this
true.
week.
That is true. I asked to live vicariously through you, and you
And
provided that, sir.
Boy, did you.
All right, so let's just jump right into it. Do whatever setup you need to do. Of course, the big draw here is Super Nintendo World. But, I'm excited to hear about stuff like Jaws and the changes from attraction to attraction. Maybe if you're down for it, we could play a game of Is It Better?
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's play a game of Is It Better? I should have brought that up. I should have thought about that earlier.
It's okay.
All right, because I know you have like a format for it, but we'll just do it as we go along. For any clones, we'll do it. Right?
It's literally just pictures. It's a loose format.
Cool. I'm excited for Is It Better though. I haven't got a chance to do it in a while.
This will be fun. So first off, I just want to talk about the issues I had. Not with Universal, not with the trip itself. It was more flying out. I made the mistake of flying out of a city called Aomori, which is famous for having the highest snowfall in the world.
Oh, jeez.
I thought that would mean that the airport had shit together. And I guess they did, but at the same time, while I was there, they were getting record snowfalls. So I had a 2.5-hour drive into Aomori turned into a 5-hour drive. And then a 40-minute drive to the airport from my hotel in Aomori turned into an 1.5-hour drive to the airport. We left like an hour late because we were stuck on the runway. I didn't think we were going to go because it would stop snowing. And then 15 minutes later, it would like pick back up again, just as bad as it was earlier. So they had to like de-ice the plane like 4 times. They had to plow the runway like 4 times. And then finally we were able to leave. Another thing I learned about Osaka, which is where Universal is that the taxis are stupid expensive. So it cost me like $90 to get from the airport to the hotel. And then it cost me, well, it was actually kind of funny because every time I rode, it got less and less expensive. But it cost me anywhere between like $17 and like $28 to take a taxi to Universal. Because my hotel is in a really cool place.
I mean, honestly, when you include the tip and everything, that's not far off from like what you're usually going to have to pay and on any given, like, if you're staying.
Oh, no, I'm sure. I was just expecting to pay
Uber or anything.
Yeah, so I was trying to do Uber because I was in a major city, but there were no Ubers available. I don't really know why. Because they definitely have Uber.
I don't have any experience with that at all.
Yeah, I know. Well, you were in the mountains. I was in like the second largest city in Japan.
I was in the biggest tourist destination in Tennessee, at the very least.
No, that's fair. But yeah, it was just weirdly more expensive than I was expecting it to be. My hotel was in a really cool place, but it was kind of difficult to get to Universal from it. You had to take the highway, which pretty much every highway here is you have to pay for. So I think that's why it was a little bit more expensive. But and it wasn't. It was close enough to walk, but I had to. I would have had to walk in a really roundabout way with the way the ports are like outlined. Because I was technically on an island in the port, so it was kind of weird. But anyway, I got to Universal. It's a cool time. They had a store called Strawberry Fetish. That's beside the point. I just like that they had it.
Strawberry fetish forever.
Oh no. They serve chocolate-covered strawberries and nothing else. So
I'm down, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, I would have gone to City Walk more. Oh shit, I forgot a picture of City Walk. I'll talk about it now super quickly. City Walk looked weirdly like Hollywood City Walk, a lot more than I was expecting. A lot of shopping areas, like even downtown Disney in Tokyo. They're set up like malls, so they're all indoors. But this is like a proper City Walk. Like it was outside. It was like I had multiple floors, but it was mostly outside. It was like a pretty big strip. They had the King Kong sign. And it was nice. It was a cool City Walk. I went there once for a milkshake, and I went to the Hard Rock Cafe, which was thoroughly okay.
That sounds about right.
I got a very strong hurricane. But it was
It's
cool.
funny that you say that. I've heard that Hard Rock in general does really strong drinks.
Yeah,
That's
I've never gotten a drink at the Hard Rock because, like, I don't think I've ever eaten at a Hard Rock after I turned 21.
I don't think I've ever eaten at a Hard Rock, period.
They're worth going to. Like,
I literally think the most I've done at a Hard Rock is going in to see the Raimi Spider-Man suit in the lobby with the last time we were there.
Yeah. Like, it was good. Like, it wasn't, like, amazing. I'll get to the food in the parks later. I got it was a miso wasabi burger. That was like Hard Rock has they do like local burgers where they're burgers specifically for the location.
Oh, okay. Nice.
And this one was a miso wasabi burger, and it was pretty good. Like you couldn't really taste the wasabi. The miso was a little strong. But it was good. But anyway, next day went to Universal. Other note about Universal, apparently the park open time, like the park times don't matter. The park was supposed to open at 9. I'm pretty sure both days they actually opened at 7:30, which is great. But I didn't know.
It's like the points in whose line is it anyways?
Yeah, exactly. Like I didn't know the first day, and the second day I was too tired to like try to get up at like 6.
Right. Yeah.
I think both days I got there around 8, and I was able to get right in. There were crowds, but it only took me like 15-20 minutes to get through into the park. This is the entry area. It's behind the gate. They had like a weird like fenced-in hedge area. Universal Japan has 2 entrances. They have the entrance from City Walk, and then they have like a bus entrance.
Oh, okay.
And so they have 2 arches. They have 2 archways, and this is like in between both of those. What we got next? This is the entry area from in the morning. It's so Universal Japan is really odd because it's basically Universal Florida. Like I was able to, like I knew where pretty much
for me. It's always like from what I've heard of it, it's pretty much like a weird amalgamation of both of the Florida parks, right?
No, it's much more Florida than it is.
Oh, really?
Else. I mean, it's an amalgamation because it has some of the rides from Islands of Adventure, but the layout is much more Florida than it is Islands of Adventure. The entire front of the park, like I knew literally where everything was because it's the same layout. The only real difference is that instead of all those sound stages right at the entrance, they had this. So it's kind of like an extension of the Sunset Boulevard area or the Hollywood area and USF. And Terminator was where Fallon was, and that was very weird.
I was weirdly like I went on Terminator once when I graduated high school. I went on a California trip, a SoCal trip, and I was weirdly kind of underwhelmed with it.
I liked it when I did it. I actually really wanted to see it again, but it was closed because of COVID.
I mean, I liked it. It was good. I just think that it was a little underwhelming compared to the hype that it had.
That's fair. I think it was a lot more impressive for its time.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
So next,
I was honestly expecting a little bit more as far as in-theater effects.
Oh, that's totally fair. I think they do really well, though, personally. Like, I would have been really interested to see it in Japan. The building looks a lot nicer in Japan, too. I have a picture.
Like the memory I have of it is, you know, at the beginning, you know, they have the Terminator robots on stage, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be good, you know, like right at the beginning, we're having like this mix of physical and screen, and it's like, people always talk about the guy on the motorcycle, and I'm like, yeah, the guy on the fucking motorcycle, it's cool, but it's literally like one moment.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I think
go
it's
ahead.
done pretty well. Next we have the flying Oh, before we get to the flying dinosaur, I'm so sorry. I don't have a picture for this. Spider-Man, really great. For playing, is it better?
Hold it, no, don't you dare do the is it better thing. I'm going to do the is it better
please
thing.
do it. Yeah.
Okay, so you did Spider-Man, but the question is it better?
It's exactly the same.
No, you have to pick. You have to pick.
Then no, I guess, because
judge it based on Q. Come on, the Q can be the tiebreaker.
I mean, Florida's has a better layout for the queue. It's really weird because the
but is it better?
Yes, Florida's is better.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's. Hold on, I'm gonna keep track of the. I'm gonna keep track of it in the comments.
Yeah, you're good. It's weird because nothing like Spider-Man replaced nothing, but all the rooms in the queue look retrofitted. So like it doesn't have that big atrium at the beginning at the front like it does.
Gotcha. Okay.
It doesn't have that weird circular room where they're showing off the scoop. It does, like it has those rooms, but they're not shaped like that, so it's not quite as like.
Oh, that's yeah. I hear you.
One thing I do think it has above Florida's is the load area. It has a double load, like Dinosaur or Indiana Jones, which was kind of interesting. And then past that, the ride was exactly the same, just in Japanese. The only English that was spoken was Stanley at the very end. But it was really good. It's Spider-Man. I enjoyed it. I think I wrote it 5 times because
that's literally more than I've ever ridden it.
I love Spider-Man. Another great thing about Universal Japan is that most of the rides have single rider.
Beautiful.
So the lines are fucking massive in this park. But with single rider, you can get in for like a fifth of the wait. Like I would consistently see like Spider-Man 90 minutes, single rider 45, and I get in the single rider queue and I'd be out in 15.
right. Yeah.
I would go in these lines specifically to waste time, and then I would not waste time.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
But it was pretty good. Next we have the flying dinosaur. I did this this was the second ride right after Spider-Man. Because Spider-Man I walked right on, like no wait, walked right on. Flying dinosaur, I think for single rider, which is what I did, was like a 20-minute wait. And I ended up in the front row, and it was honest to God the best roller coaster experience I've ever had.
The best coaster experience, not just the best flying coaster.
Yeah, like it was really great. It was absolutely the best flying coaster I've ever been on. But the experience is really cool too, because I was in the front row. It goes all over the Jurassic Park land, so you're just like twisting in and out of like jungles. There's this one part where you're falling into a loop. I think it's a loop. So you're like going underground into a loop right next to the
probably a pretzel roll, right?
No, I think it was a proper loop. No, it might have been a pretzel roll. I don't remember. It could have even been a Cobra roll. I'm not sure. But it's right next to the Jurassic Park, the ride lagoon. And as we were going down, one of the boats came out of the drop.
Oh wow, nice!
And it was just like really cool. Like it was just really kinetic. It was really really cool. But yeah, I think this ride was great. It was a lot more intense than I was expecting.
B&M Flyers are known for intensity.
Well, I'm used to like Superman and at Great Adventure, and Manta I don't think is very intense either. But this had like a ton of inversions. It was super.
Well, you haven't been on Tatsu, my friend.
I have not been on Tatsu.
Well, there you go.
I was actually talking to Doug.
Take the pretzel roll on Manta and like crank it up to 11.
Well, I think this ride has like maybe like 5 inversions. There's a lot more inversions.
Oh, I don't doubt that the ride is probably more intense than Tatsu. I don't doubt it.
It was really fantastic.
Because the thing about Tatsu is that it's super. This is what I love about Tatsu is the fact that it's unique in the fact that it's super graceful and almost relaxing, but at the same time, you know that damn pretzel loop is coming. So like
Yeah.
even on re-rides, there's an element of like, oh my god, like this is oh my god, I'm gonna die in just a second.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways,
It was really cool though. I would like to mention now, super briefly, how smooth the roller coasters in this park were. Like they
I'm sorry.
how smooth the roller coasters were. Like they do really good upkeep.
I feel like
both of these
Universal in general
coasters.
is really good with that.
I disagree. Rip Ride Rocket was like
Oh, wait, Rip Ride
awful.
Rocket being the exception. All right, yeah, sure. Rip Ride Rocket. That's definitely the bottom tier of Universal coasters. Yeah.
And the only reason Hulk was okay was because it was just newly rebuilt.
Mm-hmm.
But both of these attractions were like fantastic. But both this and Hollywood Dream, which I'll talk about after Jurassic Park. I don't have a picture because I just got in line. But yeah, I did this. Then I did Jurassic Park the ride in 45-degree weather.
But was it better?
Yes.
Okay. How so?
Yeah. Because it actually has so the Brontosaurus was working, or the Gigantic Saurus, the Ultrasaurus, whatever you want to call it, was actually working. So it would extend all the way, it would stand up straight, which I've never seen in Florida or Hollywood. Maybe Hollywood now. They don't have the Jeep effect, but they have a different effect where it looks like a cage of velociraptors are about to fall on you.
Oh, nice.
And that was cool. Another weird thing is that it's mirrored. So you leave load from the left rather than the right. And it was just, I wasn't expecting that. It was kind of weird. And then, yeah, other than that, the ride was pretty much the same.
Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty much exactly
the same.
I
definitely think at this point, especially with Hollywood getting Jurassic World, I just think the Florida River Adventure is it's kind of outdated at this point.
I agree. I'm just glad that the effects in Japan's were working so well. Theme Park Priest, I did get very wet. That's why I didn't ride it again. But
it's honestly hard not to get really wet on Jurassic Park.
Usually I don't get wet on water rides. Just like blanket statement, I don't usually get wet on water rides. Somehow I come out unscathed. This is probably the wettest I've gotten on Jurassic Park. But it wasn't terrible.
I don't think I've ever gotten off of Jurassic World unscathed. I really don't.
I dried off within like 5 or 10 minutes, so it really wasn't that bad. Also, I sent you guys a picture. I forgot to put it in the presentation. But in the gift shop, they have an animatronic Velociraptor. And it was really cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, it's in like a gift wrapping station.
How much movement was there?
Oh, there was a lot of movement. Like
really?
That's
badass.
Nice. It was really cool.
Because sometimes with the gift shop animatronics, like even like a Doc Ondor, it's kind of like, like it's moving, but it's not really going to be animated, except for every so often. You know what I mean?
No, this is like properly animated. This is
awesome.
Really cool.
Nice.
Another thing I want to mention quick that I forgot to. The entrance to Jurassic Park, the ride, is a little bit different. You know how in Florida they have that model of Ila Nublar?
Yes, yeah.
So here, instead of that, they have a bronze statue of John Hammond with a child. And I thought that was really cool. It was kind of like a Disney type statue, but I thought it was like a cool little detail.
I really want that statue of the collector with Howard the Duck.
Yeah. Next. Oh, this was like a cool little show they have.
Oh, look at that.
They have like a little baby Triceratops, and then they talk about dinosaur eggs and stuff. I just thought it was like interesting. They don't have that in Florida.
It's like exactly like the kind of like walk around, like, hey, look at us, we're showing off our cute baby animals thing.
Yeah,
that you see at a zoo.
Exactly. It's kind of like what they used to do in Jurassic Park at Islands of Adventure, where they had the Triceratops experience.
Right.
And they still sort of do the dinosaur hatching in the Discovery Center.
And they have the raptor encounter now.
Yeah. Well, that's what I thought this was. I thought I was gonna see a man in a suit, and instead I saw a baby Triceratops. This was lunch at Jurassic Park. It is a Christmas tree of roast beef.
Oh my god!
And
really?
That is what they literally.
Is that what it was called?
Yeah, it was called the Jungle Christmas Tree, I think.
Oh man! Nice.
It was pretty good. It had It had like that purpley rice like they give you in Pandora underneath, and it was actually really good. Not much to say. I just thought it was funny. Their food's really interesting. We'll have more food pictures later. Oh, this is another food I got. It's so you know those bao buns they give you at Food and Wine.
Yes.
It's basically that. It's very popular food in Japan. It's called man. It's like a it's just like a bun. If you get it with meat, it's called nikuman. So this is technically nikuman, and it was stuffed with with chicken and tomato cream.
Oh, interesting.
And it was really good. And I really liked it. But they had a bunch of stuff
that throws me off because it looks like a pastry.
Yeah, I know. They do that a lot. They also had nikuman for the New Year, so they had tiger and ox shaped ones. All the foods at the stands were really unique and really interesting, but the lines were stupid long. These people will wait in line for hours to get like, a special food.
That's honestly becoming more and more of a trend, just theme park wide. Honestly, it's a problem.
Yeah, I wanted to get this, and thankfully I walked past it and there was no line, so I got in like 5 minutes. They actually have a really cool market, like an outdoor market with a bunch of food stands right on the water. So actually New York's a little expanded in Japan. So it's essentially between Spider-Man and where Transformers is in Florida. But there's like another block of buildings where there were none in the US. And then there they have like a little market of food stands. But that's where they were selling all their Christmas stuff. And it was very good. This is the only picture I have of the Sing Show.
Oh my god, dude.
Which is where it's where Transformers is in Florida. The theater's better than the show.
I believe it.
It's like a general illumination theater, so they have like a lot of like, weird, like little like nods to the different illumination shows. I thought was kind of cool. They have a really cool Art Deco mural of like all the illumination characters with Gru as the centerpiece, which I took a picture of, but my phone glitched out. And it took like 2 seconds for it to actually take the photo, so it's just a blur. I also took a picture of the actual theater, which I wasn't supposed to, and the same thing happened. The actual show is fucking bizarre.
Really?
Yeah.
Is there an interactive element where you vote or?
No.
Okay.
It's just a show where they sing.
Okay.
They have an animatronic Buster. They have an animatronic that what's her name is Crawley or whatever. They like the iguana lady.
Yeah.
They have animatronics of them. Buster comes down on the moon at the beginning, which I thought was kind of cool, like in the movie. And then the singing starts, and Johnny the gorilla comes out, and he is a man.
He's
a man, but the chest and head are like
oh god.
And he sings live, and he pretends to play a rocket piano, which like comes out on the stage, and it's kind of weird. And he sings the Elton John song from the movie, and then he leaves, and then the pigs come out, and they're full body costumes like you would see at a meet and greet, and they do their thing, and they dance. And I think the mouths were moving, but I couldn't quite tell. And then they leave, and then what's her name? The porcupine girl comes out. The Scarlett Johansson porcupine girl comes out, and she is again a woman, where she's like just wearing regular clothes, and then she has like a porcupine helmet on, so she has like a normal painted chin, and then like chipmunk cheeks, and then like the entire top half of her head is this mask. And then she has like the big porcupine hair. She doesn't sing. No idea why. She lip syncs. The only person in this entire show who sings live is Johnny. And I don't understand why they made that choice. That makes no sense why you have an entire show where one person sings live and no one else does.
And the show itself is inherently based on the concept of singing.
Yeah, it's just... like, I don't care that they lip sync. It more bothers me that only one person doesn't. Like, it just makes no sense. And then they sing some more. And then if you look off to the sides, all the Japanese cast members are like dancing the music to try to hype the guests up. And then
man.
Johnny's like, "Come on, everybody, stand up,
Oh,
wave
dude,
your
fuck
arms."
this. No.
And then after like 10 seconds, they opened the door. It was very.
I would be so out of there, dude. That
Yeah, it
is
was a
so not
really
my
bizarre.
jam.
It wasn't mine either. It was a very bizarre pause. I only saw it because they don't have it in the US, and I was
right.
interested.
But no, even so, I would skip it.
It was really bizarre.
You know what I would do? I would just go in like just to see the Buster Moon animatronic rise down on the moon because that does sound cool, and then literally just walk out.
Yeah. It was a really weird show. They also have another, like a Curious George show, which I didn't see because I wasn't sure it was, and I had like a nightmare scenario where I walk in and it would be me and a bunch of toddlers, and it's like this interactive thing, and I didn't want that. I looked up a video, and it's actually a proper show. It's almost like the Disaster pre-show where they have the fake Christopher Walken, but as like a real show where they have like an actor as the man in the yellow hat, and then that leads out into a Walter Lance post show, which is kind of interesting. Which, come to find out, that Curious George show used to be a Woody Woodpecker 3D show, which sounds very interesting. But yeah, that was like the weirdest part. Those were the weirdest things in the park. Next, we got Potter. It's Potter. It's exactly the same.
No, you have to answer the question. The question that's on everyone's mind.
It's on everyone's mind.
It's on everyone's mind. Literally everyone in the world. They're just stopping in their tracks right now.
I'm gonna say Florida's better because they for Forbidden Journey they do the queue correctly. The queue in Japan was backwards. So for some reason you don't take the passage to Hogwarts. You go around like an outside section, and then you do the greenhouse backwards, and then the entry hall was closed.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go back to the front of the entrance, and then you go into the cave backwards, and then you go to the lockers. They bring you up a set of stairs where they have one of the portrait hallways with all the with the founders of Hogwarts, and then you go into Dumbledore's office backwards. And then some of the effects weren't working the first time. They were better the second time I did it. But I think I still prefer Florida's. That being said, Hogsmeade is better.
How so in this regard? I'm curious.
Because it's so far removed from the rest of the park.
So
you have to walk like a quarter mile of just like a wooded pathway to get to Hogsmeade. That, and it was kind of cool how you're in like a snowy land and it was actually cold.
Right, for sure.
So in that respect, I think it was better. The crowds were terrible. But I do think the land was better, but the ride was worse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it's Hogwarts. Also, they have Black Lake, which is kind of cool.
All right.
Yeah. Jaws.
Oh God.
It was so good. I rode this once when I was 7, and then I rode it again 4 times.
4 times, nice.
And it was amazing. One thing I noticed I think is kind of cool. It's almost like so bear with me.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a proto Potter, where the land was actually really immersive. Weirdly,
I could see that.
Like it felt very lived in. They had a lot of signs, like for like a mayoral election, and like they had. I think I have it on the slideshow. No, I don't. They had like the Welcome to Amity billboard, which I think they might still have in Florida. I can't remember. And it was just really cool. And then you get in the line, you get in the queue for Jaws, and the entire thing is like the history of Amity. And some of the pictures were like not from Martha's Vineyard. They were from places in Massachusetts that I've been to, like Rockport. It was really weird. And they say that they're Amity. I'm like, no, it's not. But the actual ride was amazing. The ride was fantastic. It has some really cool effects, like Jaws goes under the boat and the boat rocks.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was really cool. Where like you first see him after the sinking ship, and like he just his fin, and he goes under, and the boat rocks, and then he shows up on the other side. That was done really well. The shack is really cool. The whole scene is cool, where he's trying to like break into the shack that you're in. And then like he's like knocking things over, and then at the end, like one of the docks, like one of the piers, like docks, I guess, whatever. It's like a wooded walkway above the water, like bursts upwards as Jaws like breaks into the shack. It was really cool. It set tension really well. It's a really great ride. I think it was a little shorter than I thought it would be. But I had a lot of fun with it. I thought it was really great.
Nice.
It was really cool. Now we'll get to Nintendo. Finally, this isn't quite Nintendo Land. To hype up Nintendo Land, Super Nintendo World. I'm sorry. They opened up a small cafe in the Hollywood area. Where they were selling like Instagrammable snacks. And I went there for breakfast my first day because I'm very responsible about my health. And I got this. It's a strawberry shortcake. And it had like pudding in it too. And it was really good. And the soda was like a green apple soda float.
I'm going to say that soda looks really good.
It was really, really good. Yeah, it was really good. It was pretty cheap. Another thing is, actually, I'll talk about it Nintendo. All the cast members were fantastic. Actually, no, we're here. Especially Nintendo, they're all like super. The term is genki in Japanese. It's like super like enthusiastic and excited. They were all super excited, super enthusiastic. All the Nintendo. I only noticed it here, but they might have done it in Nintendo World as well. They don't say okay; they say okie dokie.
Nice. That's awesome.
And they were all super nice. Everyone was super nice. I got like I've never seen this in the US. They all complimented me on the shirts I wore both days.
I've definitely had cast members in the US
really?
compliment my shirts. Oh yeah.
This is like sure. Every single cast member.
I mean, it's maybe like maybe like a few per day with me.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I just thought it was really funny because the
most popular shirt that I ever wore was a Sunny Eclipse shirt.
Oh, that makes sense.
I swear to God, I was treated like royalty in the Starlight Cafe itself. I swear to God, like people were like, "Oh my God!" Yeah, the cast members were geeking out over it.
Good. The first day I wore an Orange Bird shirt, which, come to find out, Orange Bird is very popular in Japan. I didn't think anyone would recognize it. Apparently, they used it. Apparently, they used Orange Bird in like a marketing campaign in 2004.
Oh, wow.
And then he's been popular in Japan ever since. And then the second day, I wore an Animal Crossing shirt, which everyone recognized again. But I got a lot of people telling me I had a cute shirt both days. It was very interesting. But cast members were fantastic. This food was fantastic. I went here twice. The second day. So what does this look like to you, Tiki?
An ice cream sundae.
It's hot chocolate.
Oh wow!
It said it was a hot
chocolate.
Yeah, it said it was a hot drink, or like a hot something, but it described itself as like a pudding parfait. So I was like, oh, it must be like a hot pudding cup thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I got that. It was fucking hot chocolate.
Weird.
So I ate everything on top and then threw out the hot chocolate because I was not in the mood for that. But it was really good. This was from the same place as the strawberry shortcake. And now we have Super Nintendo World.
Okay, you got to tell me, is this transition as freaking beautiful as I picture it being?
Yeah, it's a really, really cool transition. So I'm sure they'll do this in Hollywood as well. There's a big old pathway leading up to this, kind of like Potter, but a little shorter. Mm-hmm. Halfway through, they have people checking tickets to make sure you can enter. And then you get through, they have this. Right behind those people, there's like 3 tiny pipes where you can take, it's like a photo op, and there's a big line for it. You can also buy your power band out in front before you enter the land, which was really nice. I got the Yoshi one. They have like 8 of them. And whichever one you buy puts you on a team for that specific character. I think they have Mario, Luigi, Peach, Toad, Daisy, Rosalina, Yoshi, And another one, I'm not sure what the other one is.
Donkey Kong?
No.
No Donkey Kong.
Let me check. But anyway, so this is the entry area. It's really cool. You go into that pipe, and there's like little like lights on the wall to like make it look like you're transporting.
I love the sound effects too in there.
Yeah, I was just gonna mention that it's only when you get to the end they do the pipe sound effect, and then I'm not sure if I have the picture. I don't have the picture. You come out into the middle of Peach's castle,
and I imagine that's super effective, right?
It is super effective. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, they only have 6.
Hmm.
Who did I add? Oh, they don't have They don't have Rosalina. That's who I added. It's super effective. And on the side wall, I wish they had Wario. I would have bought Wario in a second. On the side walls, they have little holographic images of the paintings from Mario 64.
Yeah.
Which kind of reveals the story. There is a story to the land. There is this thing called a golden mushroom, and Bowser Jr. stole it.
Oh no!
So you have to.
No.
So that's the story. I'll get into the specifics after, but first, here's Mount Beanpole, like the centerpiece of the land. It's super duper cool, super kinetic. The only things that weren't working were the piranha plants, and I honestly wonder if that has something to do with the fire that happened a month ago. Because those were the only thing that were consistently not working. Everything else was working totally fine. But it's super cool. One thing I did notice as well is that the land's kind of small.
I was wondering about that, honestly.
It's pretty tiny. It's super dense, like super dense.
Right.
But it's pretty tiny. It's interesting as well because it's 2 stories. So the top floor has all of the power band stuff, or like the big power band stuff.
Okay.
And Mario Kart. And the bottom floor has meet and greets, Mario and Luigi meet and greets, a food stand, the restaurant, and then the entrance to Donkey Kong whenever that opens. Which I showed you a picture of. It's not in the slideshow, but they do have like a really interesting like circular entryway. And there's like palm trees behind it, so it's definitely Donkey Kong. I also think I saw construction, so I guess they've gone vertical already, which I didn't realize. So it was really cool. This is Mario Kart. You enter through Bowser's Castle. It's a really effective entrance. This queue is absolutely fantastic. I didn't see all of the queue. It's actually really cool how the queue keeps changing. Like each room is a different thing. I think the only room I didn't see was the garage. There's like a big garage room where I think they set up the Koopalings and all of that. Because the first time I rode, I did Fast Pass. I had a Fast Pass for this, thankfully, so I didn't have to wait in like a 90-minute queue. Second time I did Single Rider, which bypasses like the entirety of the queue. I have a ton of pictures of the queue. I don't think they're in this PowerPoint though. This is the entrance. So you walk in, you go up a set of stairs, and there's this big Bowser statue. And actually, this kind of reminded me of the entrance of like to one of the Mario Kart tracks for Bowser's Castle.
It does. Yeah. It does for sure. Like I honestly feel like there's more than one Mario Kart Bowser Castle track that has a sort of like statue in it.
Yeah.
I know for sure the N64 one does.
I'd have to look again because it really reminded me of the layout of some of the tracks, where there's a staircase leading right up and then it splits.
Right, yeah.
I don't have pictures, but to the hallway to the right, you turn down it, and there's a big portrait of Bowser, and it's in my picture, but I didn't even notice it. Shigeru Miyamoto signed the corner of it.
Nice.
So there's a little Miyamoto signature. This is the Universal Cup. So you can lose this ride. This ride is a game. It's kind of hard to describe, or it's kind of hard to like fully explain, rather. You have to collect 100 coins to win. And you do that by turning when you're told to turn, and hitting Team Bowser, and only Team Bowser, with shells, or hitting enemies with shells, because there's a lot of enemies in this ride. There's like a giant. What's the fish skeleton called? Is it bonefish?
I don't know.
I think it's bonefish. You have to hit him. There's a giant dry Bowser in the lava that you have to shoot at, which actually really reminded me of the ending of Men in Black Alien Attack. This whole ride kind of reminded me of Men in Black Alien Attack, honestly. And if you win this, if you get over 100 coins, you win the Universal Cup, and you get it in your Nintendo World app, actually. I'll talk more about the app after Mario Kart when I get to the Power Band stuff. But the ride was really great. I thought it was. I really enjoyed it. It's definitely hard the first time. I got a better hang of it the second time. The AR is done pretty well. The only issue I had, and I noticed it more in the second time. Sometimes some of the things that show up in the AR, if they're farther away, they'll be really translucent, or really transparent, rather. So they're not quite as solid, and because of that, the effect isn't quite as effective. But the ride's really cool. I didn't really have an issue with the speed, and I understand why it's the speed it is, because they want to attract families. Like, it's Mario Kart; it doesn't need to be too fast. Like,
now, how's the physical stuff?
So sometimes it felt a little empty.
Okay.
Like, if you look through the AR,
yeah,
all of the sets were really, really great. They were done really well, but they were just a little empty because they leaned so heavily on the AR, and because of that, you can't really have too much going on.
For sure.
I was already a little distracted with the AR as it was. But it wasn't terrible, like the sets. I think the most impressive one was Boo's Mansion. That was a really cool set where you're like right in the middle of the mansion. The best AR effect was at the very end, where both times I don't even know how you get to it. You fight Dry Bowser, and then you like get to this transition, and suddenly you're on Rainbow Road, and the entire road is Rainbow Road. So like the entire flooring looks like the rainbow, and it's just done really well. It's a really cool AR effect. And then you turn off into it, and the entire end screen, the entire like end hallway, turns into like this AR projection of like the finish line, and that's done pretty well as well. It's really interesting. Sometimes it works really well, sometimes it doesn't. But I thought the sets were pretty good. Like they were effective at conveying where you were in each scene.
Cool.
Yeah, I couldn't quite take it in because, again, I was a little bit distracted by the AR. But
sure.
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. It's definitely a ride that you'd want to ride a lot of times. And it's definitely a ride that's going to be divisive. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really great.
I'm thinking Donkey Kong is going to be the bigger crowd pleaser.
I agree. Yeah, especially with the roller coaster and all that. It's going to be... I think it's going to be what people want more from Nintendo.
Yeah.
Where Mario Kart's a fantastic family ride. It's actually really, really good at making you feel like you're in Mario Kart. But it's definitely not necessarily what like the core people, like the theme park people and the gamers, the hashtag gamers wanted. It's much more of a family ride, and it kind of has to be with Nintendo. You can't do like a looping coaster in Super Nintendo World. It was done really well. And the shop's really cool too. The shop is Mario Motors. It's just like a service bay. It was really cool. I really liked it.
All right.
Next we have the restaurant, which in Japan is called Kinopio's Cafe. Just that Kinopio is what they call Toad in Japan. So it's Toad's Cafe. This is the dining room. It was really cool. On those windows, which you can kind of see in the bottom left corner, they look out either into the kitchen of the cafe or out into Toad Town. And sometimes it like turns to night and a bunch of enemies like descend onto Toad Town. And it's really cute. It's really cool. I really liked it. But the details, like the architecture was like really great. It had really heavy chairs. That was one thing. It was weirdly heavy chairs. But it just looked really good. I really enjoyed it. This is the food I got the first time.
Oh god, that pasta looks amazing.
Yeah, it was really good carbonara. It's probably the best carbonara I've had
Oh
in
man.
Japan. It's really good. In the back, that's a yuzu soda. Yuzu's like it's like an Asian lemon. So it's like a lemon soda basically. And I thought it was funny. You collect your drinks at a window, and behind the window there's a big pipe, like a warp pipe, like facing out, and you can look out into like a snowy area. And the cast member told me that that's where my drink came from. She's like, they make the drink. So it was really good. It had like weird like jelly cubes in it. And the gold
what is the I know I asked this before, but what is the egg made out of?
Egg. It's an egg.
Okay, could you possibly just not have that?
Probably, if you asked, yeah.
Yeah, because I am allergic to egg, but everything else looks wonderful.
Oh, then you might not want the carbonara in general, because carbonara is an egg-based sauce.
Oh.
Yeah. It might be a little different in Japan. Because carbonara in Japan is a lot more creamy than eggy. Like if you go to a real Italian restaurant and get carbonara, it's gonna be very eggy. Over here, it's almost like Alfredo.
That's what it looks like. I assumed it was Alfredo.
No, they call it carbonara. I don't know how much egg is actually in it, other than that egg.
Son of a bitch, man. Egg is like, anyways.
No, that's
woes me about my food allergies.
It's okay. Because usually if you get carbonara in Japan, it comes with an egg on top like this, and you're supposed to like cut it open, like mix it into it.
Oh, okay.
So it might be a little different. One thing I will say as well, actually first, goalpost cake, really good. It's just like a layer cake. It was raspberry. I'm not sure what that glob is in front of the cake. It looked like red bean, but I didn't try it. Because it was kind of like, I couldn't like cut it with my fork, and that kind of weirded me out. I'm not very picky about my food, but like I wasn't really feeling that. One thing, now that we're here at food, I'm very interested to see what food comes to the U.S. parks, because the food here was very Japanese, other than the burgers. And they also had like a Koopa steak. I think that could come over, where it looks like a Koopa shell. It has like a bread like shell that looks like the outline of a Koopa shell, and then they put spinach on top of the steak to make it look like the green.
Oh, that's fun.
It was really cool.
Nice.
But the food was very Japanese. It was a lot of like rice, a lot of like pork and stuff like that. And then carbonara, which is very classic Japanese fast food. The desserts were normal. They had a mushroom soup that looked like a super mushroom. Like it came in a bowl that looked like a super mushroom. They had like a pizza bowl where the super mushroom head was a bread bowl. It was really cool. But I'm very interested to see how they change it for like U.S. palates. Even like the food at stands were very Japanese. Like it was yakisoba pan, which is yakisoba, which is a grilled noodle dish in bread, and it looked like a Koopa shell, I think. Yeah, but it was good. And then I went there one more time for dessert, and I got a tiramisu question block, and it was really good.
Ooh, nice.
It was really good. And the red part in the front is raspberry, I think. Might be strawberry, but I'm pretty sure it's raspberry. It was actually really good tiramisu. I wanted to go here for dinner again, but I thought I'd be in line for Mario Kart all night. But when I went there, they had the single rider queue open, so I got through in 20 minutes. Okay, so now we have the power band stuff. So to get the gold mushroom, you have to win 3 of those key coins. That's right in front of the Piranha plant. There are 5 different games. This is one of them. There's this massive piranha plant, which is very animated, like very animated.
Oh man, dude, that would almost scare me, honestly.
It was really cool. It
Uh-huh.
was super cool, but you have to wait in a line. Which is one of the downsides about the crowds. Like all these power band things had waits.
When you're waiting in line, do you at least get a good view of the piranha plant itself?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so that's good. So at least you're like being entertained while you're waiting.
Yeah, no, there's always something to see. You can even watch in any of the lines. You can watch people like play the actual game. But you get in the game. They put you in teams of like 4 or 5. I was always alone, so they always stuck me with people. And for the piranha plant, there's like 10 alarms, like alarm clocks, that are constantly going off, and you have to like smack the top of them to make them turn back off, and you have to make sure the piranha plant doesn't wake up.
Oh, nice.
In between games, it goes back down and starts snoring, and it's really cool. This is probably my favorite game itself. There's a better experience, but this is like my favorite game. Right behind this as well, they have a little wall with a bunch of note blocks, and the note blocks light up, and you hit them. You hit them in whatever order they light up, and it plays a song. There's like 6 or 7 songs that it'll play. It's really cool. Next, this was another power coin game or key coin game.
This is the one I've seen the most.
Have you? Yeah, it looked really hard, but like it looked deceptively hard rather.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a Palblot. There's this Koopa shell going back and forth through the pipe, and when it gets to the middle, you have to hit. So you can barely see it. Right off to the left, there's a POW block that you hit, and if you hit that POW block at just the right time, it'll send the Koopa shell up to hit the blue POW block, which will make the that Koopa will actually fall over and start like twitching a little bit, and then you win the key coin. This was the only one that I didn't do because I was starting to run out of time. Just as well, super quick. Right to the left of this, they have a Goomba one, where there's a Goomba walking on a rolling hill, and you have to spin a crank really fast to make it to make the Goomba fall off of it. And if it does, it falls backwards, and you win the key coin. That one was fun. It was very easy. This is the underground. Have you seen pictures of this or video? Because you told me
I've seen video of it, yeah,
of the whole thing.
And I will say, I like when they get it built. I'm really hoping, first of all, that it does come to Hollywood.
Oh, it definitely will. I'm sure it's gonna be 1-to-1.
Yeah, nice, because this is I would say this is I'm more looking forward to this than I am Mario Kart, honestly.
Yeah, this is my favorite.
Like, this looks more authentically Mario to me.
This was definitely my favorite part of the power band stuff. It was so fucking cool, and it's kind of hidden, so it never really had a long line. Off in a corner, there's this little room with a few question blocks. I'm sorry. And then in the back, there's a screen game where you can collect a superstar and like just kill a bunch of enemies, I guess. And I think that's kind of it. Then off to the left, you go into the underground, and they let you into this. It's not really a maze like you said. It's more like an extended cube walkthrough. But they do pulse you through. So each time I went, I was alone, even though there's a line. And you pass a bunch of bob-ombs, and then you turn a corner, and they have this really effective like hallway effect where they make you tiny. And it's done really well. Like when I first did it, I thought it was a slope, and it was just straight, and I was getting smaller. And then you turn a corner, and it opens up into this, which you can hit that question block to the right. And towards the end, there's this big bob-omb game, which is for another key coin. This one's fun. You have to collect. So the bob-omb shatters the key coin, and you have to tap screens that are scattered all around the room to put it back together, and then you have to physically put it back together before the bob-omb makes it break apart again. And then you leave, and I always missed it, but at the end of the hallway, there's a big mushroom, like one of the supersized mushrooms.
Yeah.
And that explains how you get back to regular size.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Nice.
and it's really cool. Then it lets out. Right next to this as well, there's an ice cave that has a switch mini game where you have to turn all the switches into exclamation point switches.
Mhm.
And that's the final key coin game. But it was really, really cool. Another thing as well that I want to mention, they have secret Mario like touchpads, I guess, scattered around the land. And it's kind of like the game where if you tap one, it reveals an 8-bit sprite of one of the Mario characters. And that counts as an achievement. Each one counts as an achievement for the land. I think there's 5 or 6 of them. But they're pretty well hidden. They're pretty like you can come across them if you know what you're looking for. I think I only missed one. So if you get 3 of them, you get to go to the Bowser game. And you need to get 3 of them. At the entrance, they have a big lock next to the door to get in. That you have to scan your power band at, and if you don't have 3, you can't go in. So you go in here, they have a Bowser Jr. statue. You go into another room that has like Bowser Jr.'s like clown car and a bunch of other stuff. Then there's a proper pre-show. There's a real pre-show. You go through. They put in this game's really hard to describe. It's like a shadow game. The shadow game like they have in the queue for Soren.
Yes, yeah.
It's kind of like that, but with much better technology. Where
Okay.
you stand in a square, and you have to throw bombs around by like hitting them with your hand through the shadow, and to attack Bowser Jr.'s clown car. And then you can jump and get question blocks that'll make you bigger or smaller. If you get hit, you get smaller. So you can get mushrooms from question blocks to get back to regular size. Or you can get fire flowers, then you can start throwing fireballs. And you use those to attack Bowser Jr. or like Koopas that are falling, or like paratroopas that are falling. And it's really fun. It's really cool. I really enjoyed it. And it's a pretty short experience, but it was I thought it was a really good prize for like doing all the interactive stuff. And I hope more parks do something like that to kind of encourage you to do more of the interactive stuff. It was a lot of fun. It was really effective. And then at the end, you get a note from Princess Peach thanking you for getting the golden star back.
Does she offer you a cake?
She does not. I really want the cake. They at the cafe they have a cake that's a reproduction of
But it was too
Princess Peach's
expensive, you
cake.
said?
It wasn't that it was too expensive. It was too big.
Okay.
I think it. So it's $28. It's 2,800 yen, and like $25. And I think it's that expensive because it's supposed to feed like 2 to 3 people.
Right.
And I am but one, so I did not do that. I did not do that, but I really wanted it.
You should have just like bought one at the end of the night, taken it home, and just eaten it like over your trip.
Yeah. Let's eat it over the toilet every night.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Just have a little bit for for a late night snack. Have a little bit for breakfast.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's the end of Nintendo. One thing I don't have pictures of the merch. I didn't like a lot of the merch. It was a lot of like costume wearables. They had a lot of like hats. They were kind of cool.
Yeah, I don't like that kind of merch either. Just because you're either gonna wear it in the theme parks or it's gonna be
never again. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they were so popular. I saw so many people with them.
Oh, I can believe it.
They had like Boo ones. They had Yoshi ones. They had
I would rock a
ones.
Waluigi hat.
They didn't have those. They
really?
They didn't have anything for Wario or Waluigi. Like period. They had nothing. They even had Chain Shop hats. Which is kind of cool. Oh, also there's a Chain Shop at Mario Kart, and that was a pretty cool animatronic. It didn't do too much, but it was cool to see it. But they had a lot of food. A big thing in Japan, it's called omiyage. It's like a gift for your work, for like thanking them for covering while you're on vacation. I bought one for my friends. It's like a little like felted super mushroom box, and it comes with super mushroom cookies, like butter cookies. And then I got one that's a 4-pack of so I thought it was cup noodle. It's like a 4-pack of like food that you can reheat. It's mushroom risotto. So it's a 4-pack of like cup mushroom risotto, and it was really good. I just thought it was weird that that's what they sell. But they also had those metal models, like those metal Earth models. They had two, one of Peach's castle, one of Bowser's castle. And they had a stained glass puzzle of Princess Peach's castle's stained glass window. And then they had like little piranha plant desk toys and stuff like that. They had some cool stuff, but a lot of it I didn't really like. It was a lot of shirts, and the shirts were bad. They were like stock photos of the characters on light colored shirts. Stuff like that. I wasn't too impressed outside of like the weird stuff like the mushroom risotto. But that is about it for Super Nintendo World. It was really cool. I really enjoyed it. I'm very excited. I think it'll be a lot better once Donkey Kong opens. That'll definitely feel.
Yeah, definitely. And honestly, like I'm getting really kind of sick of this whole trend of, we're gonna open a land and we're gonna have the one e-ticket and then the one supporting attraction, and that's gonna be it.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing. I was surprised by how small it was. And I think some of it's probably because of COVID, like why it's taking so long for Donkey Kong to open after the rest of it. But that being said, even though it's pretty small, like it's very dense, very very dense, and the power band stuff counts as its own experience. Like I spent like
I'm sure it does, yeah.
The first day, I think I spent like 4 hours in Nintendo World, and I still wanted to stay. Like I didn't run out of things to do. The only reason I left was because I had a fast pass outside of Nintendo World. And then the second day I got in right like an hour and a half before closing, so I didn't really have too much time to spend there either. But it was still good. I really enjoyed it. I had a fantastic time. And I have an obligatory aquarium picture.
Okay.
That is a whale shark. I went to the aquarium in Osaka. It was like half a mile from my hotel, and it was really cool. It was a really cool aquarium. Yeah.
All right. So with the is it better thing, let's see. I'm pretty sure it's a tie at this point, right? I can't keep track.
I think you're right. Nintendo World is better than the one in Florida.
Actually, I think so. Okay, let's run down the things. Is it only Potter, Spider-Man, and Jurassic Park? Are those the only three that are in both parks currently?
Well, Waterworld is in Hollywood.
But you didn't do Waterworld.
I went to the area, and the area's better. They have a weirdly large area surrounding Waterworld.
Well, you know what? We're gonna have to break this tie just based on the overall park impressions. Then,
that's fine.
Which park do you think is better?
Based on like the design of the park, I would definitely say Japan.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot to talk about Hollywood Dream.
Yeah. Good. I'm glad you brought that up.
Thank you. It was really good. It was a much better version of Rip Ride Rocket. It's basically like Nitro at Great Adventure or something like that.
It's a B&M, right?
Yeah, it's a B&M. It's one of those ones where it's all about airtime. It was really good. The music selection.
Orlando should have gotten a B&M.
I don't disagree. The music on Rip Ride Rocket's better. You only have 5 choices on Hollywood Dream. They're like buttons. It's really weird. It's like using like a jukebox. But I did the Demon Slayer experience because that was one of the tracks. And it was good. I had a really good time on it. I thought it was a great coaster. The only ride in the park that I wasn't able to do is Space Fantasy. Because it currently has an overlay for Demon Slayer, which is a absurdly popular anime right now, especially over here in Japan. It had guess how long the wait was, Tiki?
Over 3 hours?
Yeah, how much?
5 hours, I'm guessing.
6 hours.
Oh, fucking Christ.
Yeah. So I
don't blame you for skipping that.
Yeah.
And I assume not even the most expensive Fast Pass would have covered that.
No, actually, they did have Fast Passes that covered it. They were all booked, though. And I was focused more on getting fast passes to Nintendo than I was getting them to that ride.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But Hollywood Dream is fantastic. Those are really cool coaster. But yeah, overall park feel, like experience, aesthetic, I'd probably go with USJ.
And Japan has Jaws, so I think automatically that wins.
You're right. It does win based on the Jaws principle.
Okay, so big thanks to Theme Park Priest, Behind the Magic, and John Kelling for joining us on this Odyssey. Theme Park Priest says 6-hour wait. Yeah, I guess I'd wait for the non-overlay. Yeah, absolutely.
It'll be open in March. So actually, no, one's getting a Hunter x Hunter overlay. It will never be reopened. They keep giving it anime overlays. It's the country of weebs, and I hate it.
Oh, God. Oh, the running of the weebs.
That's the only concept art I've ever been proud of.
All right. Have a good night, everyone.
Yeah, goodbye, guys.